My husband dumped me on Christmas because he didn't want me to wear my revealing outfit. It's sometimes really funny how some men like to control what their women wear while they would look and turn with the woman who is wearing skimpy or revealing outfits at the mall. I once asked my husband why he doesn't like me to wear revealing outfits, but when we see girls or other women at the mall, he looks at them with admiration. How fair is that? Men sometimes think just because we are married to them, we have to be submissive with everything. They want to change to be, yes sir, okay sir kind of women. Forgetting that they actually found us wearing these revealing outfits and fell in love with us with those outfits. Now that we are married, I have to wear like a granny. I have to wear something that I do not like and not comfortable with, just because I respect my husband and I'm submissive to him. It's really surprising and shocking how my husband, or must I say my ex-husband, decided to just dump me and divorce me just because I was wearing a revealing outfit on a Christmas day. My husband was controlling, but I had never thought we would actually find ourselves in a situation where I get dumped just because my husband was not comfortable with me wearing something that makes me feel comfortable. Do you think it was really fair for him to dump me because of a lousy revealing outfit? I, Mina, was tired of my controlling husband. He dictated everything in our relationship, from the way I dressed to the friends I could have. I knew that if I wanted to break free, I needed to do something drastic. As much as I loved him so much, but the toxicity in our marriage was too much. One had to do something about it. I didn't want to break up with my husband, but I wanted him to change his controlling behavior and be the man I fell in love with for once. Our relationship had started off with love and promise, but as time went on, Benjamin's controlling nature began to emerge. Benjamin, my husband or my ex-husband, male 37, and I, female 32, met at the mall in Philadelphia. I was going with my friends. Well, that day my friends and I had decided to just go out to get some fresh air. Since it was a very hot day, we were wearing short outfits that revealed our flawless skin. So when we went to have our lunch at some restaurant, name withheld for personal reasons, Benjamin came in with his friends also. My eyes got drawn to him. The way he was laughing somehow got to me without him even approaching me. When I looked at him, I saw my dream guy, the kind of guy that I had wanted to spend my lifetime with. He was so perfect. His perfect body and cleanliness took the girls' attention. Little did I know that God had his own plans. I would sometimes think of the verse in the Bible that says, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you." I forgot how it continues, but God really did have a plan for me, a plan to make me prosper. Because that day I kept staring at Benjamin, until he also looked where I was. I think he sensed that someone was staring at him. We had a staring contest that lasted about 2 minutes, because I was brought back to reality by my friends poking me, saying I had been staring at the guy for too long and they had been calling me. Well, I didn't hear them because my attention was on the handsomeness that I had seen at the restaurant. I actually developed a love crush on a stranger, imagine. So as my friends and I were still sitting at the restaurant waiting for our order, one of the strangers, Benjamin's friend, came to our table. He greeted us and told me that his friend had been staring at me and he would like to get my number. At first, I was a bit hesitant, but I eventually gave him my number, which came as a curse in disguise. My heart was full of joy because I stood a chance to communicate with the handsome stranger, not knowing that I was actually digging my own graveyard. Days passed and the handsome Ben, I called him that, texted me and asked to take me out. Yes, I was happy, but he wasn't as romantic as I thought he would be. His personality didn't match his appearance. It was totally different. But nonetheless, I fell in love with him. I also don't know how, but I did. And I somehow regretted it after he had shown me his very true colors, few months after we got married. I was a vibrant and free-spirited soul, while Ben was rigid and domineering. I think me being free-spirited came to Benjamin as somehow a threat. I don't how, but the way he was acting made me think that maybe he had some insecurity tendencies. I loved to express myself through fashion and enjoyed experimenting with different styles. Even though my controlling husband, Ben, had always struggled with my sense of self-expression, especially when it came to my choice of clothing. I had never thought or seen myself as a person who would actually be submissive to a man and somehow let a man change the way I am and the way I wear. I love revealing clothes. They make me feel comfortable and more of myself. But my husband wanted me to change and be what he wants. For what? Anyway, Benjamin and I started dating after I think 6 or 7 months of being friends. I won't lie and say I was not enjoying his company because I was. He was a very smart person, funny yet reserved. He had big dreams for his uprising real estate company. Our future goals and plans collided, you know? We had big dreams for us and our future. I loved how supportive he was towards my dreams and our relationship. About 4 or 5 months later, he proposed, and for obvious reasons, I said yes. Benjamin was so sweet and humble. Yes, he would show me his insecure side, but it was not extreme as it became after we got married. It was like he was somehow obsessed with me and how or what I wear. I didn't know what his problem was because, he found me wearing this way. I didn't understand why he would just want me or expect me to change just to please him and his image. Benjamin started being very controlling and manipulative to a point that I somehow find it scary because I didn't understand where he had gotten his behavior. I would sometimes think it was work stress or pressure, but no, it wasn't anything like that. His behavior continued up to a point that he wouldn't even try and hide it even if we were in public. What surprised me a lot was the fact that he was busy staring at the girls who were wearing short and revealing outfits. He would even zone out staring at them, and I wouldn't say anything about that. But to me, and he would complain, telling me that my clothes were for body sellers who didn't love themselves. He dictated everything in our relationship, from the way I dressed to the friends I could have. I knew that if I wanted to break free, I needed to do something drastic. So during winter holidays, we would have our families coming over either during Thanksgiving or Christmas, one of the holidays. That time, we had decided or planned to host a Christmas Day lunch since the previous year we were hosting for Thanksgiving. My husband, or must I say my ex-husband, was very happy that we would be hosting Christmas Day lunch. He loved Christmas days, plus he was born on the 25th of December on a Christmas Day, meaning we would be celebrating his birthday and Christmas Day. Christmas was just around the corner, and I had planned to wear a revealing outfit to the Christmas lunch. It wasn't too revealing, it just showed my boobs and thighs. It was a red dress that clung to my curves and showed off my legs. I knew it was revealing, but I also knew it would make a statement. It was the dress I saw at the mall and I fell in love with it, plus it was red, so I decided to rock it on Christmas Day. I was excited about the lunch. I would get to spend time with both my family and Ben's family, plus celebrating his birthday, which would be the first time celebrating his birthday in our house. Little did I know that my choice of attire would lead to a life-changing event. I couldn't believe it, you know. As the day of Christmas and Benjamin's birthday approached, I carefully picked out my beautiful yet slightly revealing dress that made me feel glamorous. I wanted to surprise my husband on his big day and the day to spend with family. I wanted to be beautiful for him. I had hoped that he would love my dress and compliment me since it was long yet revealing a little. Everyone complimented me on my dress. My husband, on the other hand, just grew more and more upset. I was excited to show off my confidence and enjoy Christmas Day and my hubby's birthday with our loved ones. I believed that Christmas was the perfect occasion to express myself and showcase my unique style. However, when Benjamin saw my outfit, he became furious and insisted that I change into something more conservative. He actually confronted me and demanded that I change my outfit or not attend the Christmas gathering at all. Enraged by my choice of attire, Ben berated me, criticizing me for deciding to wear something revealing in front of our families and friends. He claimed it was inappropriate and disrespectful to him as my husband. I was taken aback by his sudden outburst, tried to reason with him, explaining that I should have the freedom to express myself and feel comfortable in my own skin. Feeling torn between my desire to express myself and my commitment to my marriage, I reluctantly agreed to change my outfit. But deep down, I couldn't shake off the feeling that my husband's controlling behavior was becoming suffocating. He literally humiliated me in front of our families and his friends. I was so hurt by the way he handled everything. He should have asked to speak to me aside, not to just burst and talk to me like I was a non-living factor. I was so disappointed in him. I didn't even know what his issue was because my dress was not extremely revealing. I went to the bedroom to change, which took much time to find a dress that would make Benjamin happy. So I decided on wearing a more modest dress, but my heart wasn't in it. I couldn't help but feel resentful towards Ben for stifling my individuality. As the day progressed, I noticed how confident and empowered the family's sisters and cousins looked during the celebration, embracing their unique styles. I just couldn't help but feel a pang of jealousy. As the day went on, the celebration was finished and people had started leaving. I made a decision that would change my life forever. I took off my conservative dress, revealing the outfit I had originally chosen. With newfound courage, I walked up to Ben and expressed my desire to be true to myself, even if it meant facing the consequences. Feeling trapped and suffocated by his controlling nature, I mustered up the courage to stand up for myself. I was tired of Benjamin's bullying and controlling tendencies. I firmly expressed that I should have the freedom to wear what made me feel comfortable and confident. I told him, well, more like reminding him that he had found me wearing revealing outfits, and he fell in love with me while I was wearing those revealing outfits, and he didn't have a problem with that up until we got married. I asked him if he would want to start changing me when we were married, and did not start when we were still in the dating phase. To my surprise, Ben's reaction was not what I had expected. Instead of understanding my perspective, he stormed out of the house, leaving me feeling both liberated and heartbroken. The following days were pretty tough for me as I navigated the aftermath of my decision. The weight of my broken marriage was heavy on my shoulders, but deep down, I knew I had made the right choice. I knew that when Ben came back, I would have lost him. I know he loved being respected as the man of the house and the fact that I had said all that in front of the family that was remaining. He surely felt disrespected and humiliated by me. It was just a matter of time till he told me what I had been expecting to hear. Later on, he came back from wherever he was coming from. When he came back at midnight, I had started to get worried about him because he wasn't the type of man that would go to clubs until midnight. Yes, he would go out with his friends for drinks, but he had never come back at midnight. So when he came back, he told me that we needed to talk about my behavior and the disrespect that I had shown in front of his family and mine. You know when they say, a drunk man never tells no lie because when they are drunk, they become their true self. Take that phrase seriously because as much as I didn't want to listen to Ben speaking to me while drunk, I had to. But Ben's controlling tendencies had reached the breaking point. He coldly declared that he could no longer be with someone who didn't adhere to his strict rules and expectations. On Christmas Day, when love and togetherness should have prevailed, he callously dumped me, leaving me heartbroken and alone. So he started telling me how much he loved me and how much he held me in high regards. But I had disappointed him. He continued telling me that even if he loved me, he wouldn't tolerate disrespect and humiliation from a woman. He kept blabbing up until he actually released the lump that he had been holding that made him speak in riddles for too long. He told me that he cannot be with me anymore. He believed that I would change my attitude and behavior and somehow become a wife to him. But instead I got worse than ever. He furthered by saying that he cannot be with the woman who doesn't value and respects herself and her body. I just couldn't believe that he was actually dumping me for being myself and for the fact that I loved wearing revealing dresses. That day he decided to go and sleep in a guest room, and I was left shuttered and heartbroken. As I sat on the couch in our bedroom, gazing out of the window, the twinkling lights and festive decorations only served to magnify my sense of sadness and disappointment. I couldn't understand how a relationship that had once held so much promise had crumbled under the weight of control and manipulation. I mean, I loved Ben so much, but why wouldn't he start looking at himself first, his controlling tendencies and wanting to choose everything for me as an issue? Then he would come back to me and dump me once he had recognized his own skeletons. One thing about Benjamin was that no matter how drunk he would get, he would always remember everything he had said and done the previous night when he was intoxicated. I had prayed that when the alcohol flushes out of his system, it would somehow flush out his memory also and forget about what he had said. But who was I fooling because I woke up late, since I had been crying the whole night? I found him making breakfast. He was the Benjamin that I had fallen in love with and got married to. So we ate our breakfast in an uncomfortable silence. During our breakfast, he just decided to drop a very huge bomb at me. He told me that he would be moving out and told me how much he was sorry for breaking my heart. But he cannot be with someone like me anymore. His words were like a sword in my heart. They stabbed me deep inside to a point that I didn't even see myself surviving without Ben. Yes, he was controlling and somehow an ass, but I had hoped that we would fight all of this and get help and get through all of the things that we were going through. I had never imagined that my husband would resort to such a drastic measure on Christmas Day. I didn't expect him to just come to such a hasty decision and divorce me. I thought he loved me and held me in high regards, But what he didn't show that he loved me. I felt used, depressed, and heartbroken. I didn't even know what to do with myself. In the days that followed, I had experienced a mix of emotions. I felt a profound loss, mourning the end of my marriage and the shattered dreams of a happy future. But amidst the pain, I also felt a glimmer of liberation. I realized that I deserved better than a partner who sought to control and suppress me. No matter how much I loved him, he didn't deserve my patience. Besides, love alone is never enough, especially if one is never happy. Over time, I discovered a newfound strength within myself. I had decided to just rebuild my life without the control and toxicity of my ex-husband. I surrounded myself with supportive friends and family who embraced me for who I actually was and encouraged me to be true to myself. With their support, I learned to love and accept myself fully. I had sought therapy to work through the emotional scars left by the controlling relationship, and gradually I regained my sense of self-worth and independence. So I pursued my passions with unwavering determination. I learned that true happiness lies in embracing one's authentic self, even if it means losing someone who couldn't accept me for who I was. I also discovered my own strength and resilience. I learned to embrace my individuality, learning to love and accept myself fully. So as I moved forward, I vowed to never allow anyone to dictate my choices or diminish my self-confidence again. I became an advocate for self-expression and empowerment, using my own experiences to help others break free from toxic dynamics. I know that my story serves as a reminder of the importance of healthy boundaries and mutual respect in relationships. It highlights the devastating impact of control and manipulation, and the courage it takes to walk away from such toxic dynamics. Ultimately, Sarah's journey towards self-discovery and empowerment became the catalyst for a brighter, more authentic future. I do not want any pity or whatsoever. I just want more clarification about what I have gone through. I just want to know if it was the right decision that I had taken or decided upon to not fight Ben when he dumped and divorced me. I mean, we had shared a lot and our love was too good to be true in public, while he was a control freak in our space. And another thing, he couldn't even hide his controlling tendencies in front of our families and friends on Christmas Day. He literally busted on me like I had murdered someone or like I was a naughty child that broke his favorite watch. I want to hear from you. Redditors, what should I have done? Yes, I had hopes that he would eventually change and become the man I had fallen in love with. I thought he would eventually realize that he was the one with the problem and try to change it with me on his side, supporting him as his wife. I had spoken with him a lot about his behavior and begged him to at least talk to a therapist so he would be able to take out whatever that he had and get help. Instead, he would just brush everything off and dismiss my opinion like it was nothing. I still think he took a drastic decision to divorce me because I had done nothing wrong. The only wrong I had done was being myself, wearing something that made him uncomfortable to a point that he couldn't even hide his tendencies from his own friends and family. While I don't think I made a bad decision by not fighting for Ben and our marriage, but I felt like I needed to find myself, and become the person that I had always been, a person who didn't live in a ruled situation whereby I would find myself not being comfortable with being me. I am the person who made rules for myself and never allowed anyone or anything to change that. I lived my life for me without looking for validation from others. But when I fell in love with Ben, all of that changed. I lost myself. I became his puppet, his submissive wife. I followed his rules and did everything the way he wanted to, all because of love and being committed to the relationship, even though it was very much toxic. But I stayed and held on to the hot steel even when it had started to burn my skin. It's not easy being in a relationship whereby you have to compromise yourself just because you want to make your partner happy. It has never worked like that. I know that some would be surprised if I were to say that I still love my ex-husband, and I miss him so much every day. My heart wanted me to fight for our relationship and find a common solution to the problem. But why try to help a person who doesn't need help? It was like he was somehow possessed by a controlling demon. So when it was an active mode of controlling him, he would want to be in control also. Benjamin was like a person who had multiple personality disorder, even though I can't and couldn't confirm it. But the way he was doing things, his manipulative and controlling tendencies seemed like he was pushed by something or someone to do it, to satisfy it. One thing I regret about myself was that I didn't or never gave myself enough time to learn more about Benjamin. I mean, it didn't take us too long to get married, from being friends to being boyfriend and girlfriend, to being husband and wife. All of those stages happened within 1 year, if I am not mistaken. Everything happened too fast, and I was blindly in love to notice anything on our dating stage. So please tell me, what should I really do, or how should I have dealt with the whole situation? Because it was not healthy, not to me only, but to himself also and his future partner. Please advise me.